In a time when the birth of twins was seen as a curse, one woman dared to challenge this brutal tradition. This is the story of Mary Slessor, a missionary who transformed lives and redefined love and bravery in the Calabar region of Nigeria. Her courageous advocacy for the innocent children condemned by superstition became a powerful testament to the impact one individual can have in bringing light to the darkest corner of the society. So in the heart of the Calabar region, where the mighty Cross River sneaked through a dense forest, an ancient fear haunted the people. It was not the wild animals or the spirit that roamed at night. It was the fear of twins. For generations, the birth of twins was seen as an abomination, a curse sent by the gods themselves. To the people of the land, twins were not seen as a blessing, but a sign of an impending doom. One child was believed to be human, while the other was thought to be evil, born of demons and dark forces. The rules were clear and unyielding. When twins were born, they were seen as threat to the entire village survival. And the only way to rid the community of this so-called curse was unthinkable. The newborns, innocent and fragile, were cast into the forest, sacrificed to the wilderness, their cries swallowed by the trees. A brutal tradition passed down from generation to generation. In one small village near the edge of riverbank, a young woman gave birth to twins. She had dreamed of motherhood, dreamed of watching her children grow, hearing their laughter in the warm light of the day. But that night, her joy turned to terror. Soon, the elders came, as they always did. They did not come to bless her children or to sing songs of celebrations. No, they came with one purpose: to uphold tradition. The mother clutched her twins close, her heart breaking. She begged, she wept, her voice hoarse with desperation. But her cries could not break the grip of fear and superstition that held the village captive. Stronger than the mother's love was the weight of tradition. When the twins were taken, their small lives became bound to a cycle, ancient and unyielding in its cruelty. These innocent twins were cast out to die as a sacrifice to the gods. Claimed by the forest, they left behind a silence that filled their mother's home, her heart, and her very soul. Before we continue, kindly like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever we drop a new video. So, in the industrial city of Dundee, Scotland, a young woman named Mary Slessor heard stories of a terrible practice far in Calabar, Nigeria. For years, missionary has written back to Europe, describing how twins were seen as cursed and left to die. Mary was not like most people. She grew up in the slums, working in factories as a child, and her hard life taught her compassion and strength. Her faith was strong, and she felt called to do more than preach. She wanted to save lives, one child at a time. So in 1876, Mary boarded a ship to Calabar, determined to face this darkness herself. She arrived in a land where dense jungle and deep fear cast shadow over every village. But in her heart, she carried a light of hope, believing it could break even the darkest traditions. Mary wasted no time. When she first entered the village, she saw the haunted looks in the eyes of the mothers, the pain, the loss, the silent grief they carried for children they had been forced to surrender to the forest. She could not remain silent. When the village elder spoke of the God's wrath and the cause of twins, she stood her ground. These children, she declared, are not demons. They are not spawn of evil. They are a gift from God Himself, and no child of God should ever be abandoned to die. Her words were like thunder echoing through the village square. For the first time, someone was challenging the tradition. The elders scoffed, but Mary's conviction shook the people. Mary's words might have fallen on deaf ears that day, but she was not the one to wait for permission. One night, as the moonlight filtered through the trees, she heard the whispers. Twins had been born. The village elders had already decreed their fates. But Mary could not let them die. Late at night, armed only with her faith and courage, she crept quietly into the forest. Her heart raced as she searched through the dense forest, following the faint cries of the abandoned infants. When she finally found them cold and shivering, she swore she would protect them no matter the cost. She gathered them in her arms and carried them away, her steps swift but silent as she moved deeper into the forest, away from the village reach. She knew this was only the beginning of a much larger battle. Mary knew she could not save every twins alone, but she understood that true change could only come in the heart of the people. She started speaking to the mothers, those who had endured the pain of losing their children. She shared the stories of her own childhood, her struggles, and the faith that had brought her to Africa. Slowly, the women began to listen and started to question their old ways. What if our children are not cursed? They asked themselves, what if they too deserve a chance at life? It was in these quiet moments that Mary began to sow the seed of revolution. The village chief, bound by the weight of tradition, was the final stronghold. He had led his people for decades, and his loyalty to his gods was absolute. But he could not ignore what he had seen. The twins Mary had saved had grown healthy and strong. They laughed, they played, they were full of life. With the whole village gathered before him, the chief finally spoke. His voice was heavy, but resolute. We had lived in fears for too long, he said. These children had brought us no harm. They are not demons. They are not cursed. It is time we end this. And with those words, the chain of fear were shattered. The killing of twins was no more. Tradition had fallen, and life had triumphed. With the chief words, the village began to embrace a new reality. Mothers no longer had to fear for their twins. The laughter of children filled the air, no longer silenced by the shadow of superstition. The people began to see the world differently, their heart and minds opened by courage and compassion. Mary knew her journey was far from over, for there were still villages bound by the same dark tradition. But she took hope in the life she had saved and the spirit she had uplifted. Her mission, once a solitary battle against ancient belief, was now a shared vision of love and acceptance. Through her persistence, Mary taught the people to value each life as a gift, and together they broke free from a cycle of fear. A story of the twins, once a tale of sorrow and loss, had transformed into a story of triumph and love, a legacy that would live on for generations. Mary Slessor later died in the Calabar, Nigeria, on January 13, 1915. She spent nearly 40 years there as a missionary, advocating for the welfare of children, especially twins, and working to improve the lives of the local communities. Mary was buried in the Calabar, where she is honored for her significant contributions and lasting impact on the people, leaving behind a legacy that would forever be remembered in the heart of the people. Her story became a legendary beacon of courage and faith, inspiring countless others, and in each village, the birth of twins was welcomed with love instead of fear. This is the story of Mary Slessor, a remarkable woman who, against all odds, transformed lives, changed deep-rooted traditions, and redefined the concept of love and bravery. Her legacy stands as a testament to the extraordinary impact one individual can have in illuminating the darkest corner of a society. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please kindly like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever we drop a new video.